Hello viewers, I'm SB and welcome back to the Outer Worlds, here on Monarch, where things are weird. Things feel strange and slightly undercooked here on Monarch. So what was I... Oh, right, we were going to the graveyard. I need to go to Dr. Williams' grave and steal his access card to the pharmacy that we could definitely already get into, because we'll probably get more XP for getting into it this way. The thing about this video game is that it's like very much a video game. Thank you, Sam. I mean, am I going to try to stealth up here, or are we just going to throw Sam at them immediately? Because alternating Sam and Felix does allow us to keep the enemies off balance for quite a long time. I'm going to start this way. That was like 1,000 damage. Wow, that looked like it did literally nothing. Okay. I was waiting to use Sam until the enemies grouped up a little bit more, because I thought there was a third one coming, but maybe not. Well,
all germs and contaminants have been neutralized.
Yeah, that's one way to look at it. Another way to look at it is that you just sprayed all this meat that I'm going to put in my pocket with a bunch of acids. Oh, he's not even buried. Well, I mean, I'll take this. I'm just going to go ahead and break this down right now. That was 21,000 XP that we just got for that. Oh, also, we're level 15. Yeah, I should probably remember to spend the perk points on our companions. So, while Felix is in the party, you and your companions deal bonus damage to corporate enemies. That does seem like a thing that might be relevant. Or he reloads his gun faster, that's kind of whatever. He just does 30% bonus damage with his ability. I don't know if his ability deals damage. 20% chance to reset the ability cooldown when he does the cooldown. Yeah, I like that. I like that one quite a bit, in fact. And Sam is... he just deals bonus damage to auto mechanicals. I will say that I feel like a lot of the enemies that I've had trouble dealing damage to are auto mechanical. So maybe that's a thing that's worth... No, I just want to be using my companion abilities 100% of the time, is the thing. Okay, well, I guess let's see if there's any other lucrative grave robbing to do. My stealth skill's, like, very bad, I think, but it's still probably best to sneak up on the enemies and try to get a stealth crit before the fighting starts in earnest. Boy, that thing is really interested in looking directly at me, even though it doesn't know I'm here. Okay. This is it. Nope, never mind. Yeah, the moment I come out into view, he turns around. Alright, we're going. If he turns around on us again, I'm just gonna have Felix kick him in the head. Felix, don't yell that you're doing a kick. Boy, that seems like a lot of damage. As opposed to Felix's, which kind of doesn't seem like it does anything at all. Except for give me a chance to immediately reset Sam's. Which then can reset Felix's. Which then can reset Sam's. Oh, there's nothing else to kill. Never mind, there's something. The key is to just never let the enemies have a turn. Just always be mashing all of the buttons. I mean, it's an effective fighting style. What I like a lot about it as a fighting style is that it means I don't have to do all that much. Not that I'm tremendously lazy, perhaps galactically, legendarily lazy, but I sorta am. It's sort of a real thing. Okay, marauders. I can handle some marauders. I can sneak up on some marauders and hit them with this giant tossball stick. Nope, you didn't see anything. Surprise!
What's this?
Felix, please be careful. That guy's still up. Oh no, Felix is doing some damage. I think he kicked that big dude to death in a single hit. Oh, hold on, we're not done.
Sanitation and maintenance job fulfilled.
Never mind, we're done. You know, between the acid sprayers and the grenade launcher, This feels like a pretty effective combat team. We are really mashing dudes up with the quickness. We don't need another flamethrower. Honestly, I probably don't need the flamethrower I have. Okay. Well, I guess that was all we're getting out of here. I sort of want to just continue down the road, though. Right, let's explore a little bit. If we find some cool stuff, that's cool. If not, we can always fast travel back to town. It's not like we have to actually walk the distance. It's just more marauders. Oh, never mind. Hostile wildlife.
One order of frickin' fan coming up.
I've reached the end of my desire to sneak.
Hey, boss, watch this!
I'm just gonna hurl my companions at them over and over again. Oh no, we didn't get the lucky reset.
Toxin neutralized.
I mean, I hit pretty hard at this point. You probably... Felix, don't walk in the... He keeps stepping back into the acid and then just screaming and screaming. Why would they put an audio cue on that? Terrible, just terrible stuff. Focusitol capsule. Focus it all. I really need these pills, man. I just can't focus at all. Without them. Obviously, they help. This is a bad marketing campaign. I guess we know why I never worked for the corpse. Oh, except I did work for the corpse, but as a bureaucrat. It's different. You don't have to be clever to be a bureaucrat. In fact, being clever might even get in the way. Is this just a total dead end? What a weird little cul-de-sac. Okay, here we go. Here's why this exists. So that you can get a bracelet in 4 bits? Really? That's very suspicious. It feels like this area should have more significance. Alright, well. Nah, screw this. No more sneaking. Felix, kick that guy in half. I'm trying to get... Okay, so Felix's attack did that much damage.
Activated.
It's not very good. You know what? This is actually fairly satisfying to use. Jesus Christ. Sam, could you maybe be a little more careful?
Resuming passive mode.
Criminy. That was just... It was a huge stream of acid, and it was maybe inches from my face. Don't take it the wrong way. I'm not saying don't spray the enemies with acid. I'm saying just, like, be careful. But you know what? That was a heavy machine gun, or a light machine gun Mark II. I maybe should actually have picked that up. Because we are using a machine gun in one of our slots, and I bet the Mark II is a pretty hefty DPS upgrade. Well, keep an eye out for more. I mean, I'm sure those won't be the last Marauders we'll see. Oh, are we? Did I aggro thing?
Here I come!
Yeah, go work that guy over. I'm stuck on... There's so much weird little terrain to run into here.
Scoured with
I also really appreciate that they're good at target acquisition on their own, because I'm not even seeing the enemies a lot of the time. They're just getting the job done. Alright, what have we here? Is there a fast travel point? And this looks like the kind of place you'd expect to see further Marauders, right? I definitely hear something.
Go up, Felix!
Go kick that cane into the face.
Sterling is this unit's middle name.
Yeah, the knockdown effect on the big, what do you call it, the big blunt weapons is really nice. It's very useful. So basically, Sam is just Parvati, but like acid Parvati. Or Parvati is electric Sam, however you want to look at it. It's kind of weird that Parvati is the electrical version of the robot. Alright, well, obviously, this isn't stealing, because marauders can't own stuff. That's not how property rights work. Plasma carbine, riot control armor. Doubt we'll get any use out of any of it. Just like the standard Outer Worlds thing of constant small amounts of garbage. Would the game even be fun if you weren't always picking things up? The developers feel like the answer is, nah, probably not. I have very little faith in our product here. Alright, so this is the Iconoclast city, I'm assuming. Did we actually look at this? I'll make sure we're not missing anything really good here. Critical damage dealt. Yeah, we don't need to take any of this stuff. Alright, canid garbage. Oh, never mind. We can't even go in here. Well, I guess we could just, at this point, fast travel back, turn in the, Okay, we did at least get a fast travel point, so we can get back out here. Fast travel back, get the medicine, give it to Nyoka, get Nyoka on board, and then, I don't know, we'll replace the robot with her temporarily or something. The robot just doesn't seem to have a lot of, relevant character for us. Has Felix been talking to it at all? I don't think so, right? We've seen lots of little bits of dialogue with the other people. I would like to see more of those character interactions. Okay, so...
Taking orders, Sam?
All SAM units have been programmed to obey customer directives.
Ain't your fault you've been programmed by the board. The whole colony's been programmed by the board.
Felix heard what I was saying, and he felt bad. He was like, I gotta try to save Sam. Alright, Abigail, how you doing? Okay, wait, which... This room. You know, the one with the locked door. Okay. I'm sure, you know, we would have gotten a little bit of XP for lockpicking, but it wouldn't have been anywhere near the 21,000. Ambidextrine, there's the caffeinoid. Anything here? Okay. So we go back, we get Nyoka, and then... Is she our last companion? Did we only have one slot left on the character screen?
You're back. Good news? Bad news? All of the above?
We've got your magic pills. You know, these things are dangerous, you know.
More or less dangerous than a steady supply of alcohol. Get
Less.
it. Whew, that hits the spot. Right in the, oh, no, there it is. There it is. Yes. We're in business. Let's go.
Wow, that was immediate. Yeah, glad to have you.
Great. Where to?
Well, that's the place that I said. Let's find the information broker.
Oh, Hiram? I ain't checked in on that man in an age. He's running the giant radio tower we lovingly call Devil's Peak. We'll be going south and west, mostly along the road till we're past Fallbrook. Out there, there's a western slope that'll lead us through some fun. You like hunting, right? That's fun. If you're more of a spelunker, Rotting River will take you into the mountain caverns. We can discuss options when we get closer. That said, 3's already a crowd. I don't mind waiting somewhere until you got a spot open.
Very artificial, just like clearly exposed game mechanics here. Hey Sam, go clean the ship.
New customer profile created. Greetings, user Nyoka.
No. Ugliest thing ever killed.
Oh, I still have nightmares about this one. Fiercest, most foul creature I've ever faced. Just shy of 7 feet tall. Breath like a sulfur pool. A little slow, strong as a mountain. If I recall, his name was George? Gregory? I don't know. Some G name. He and a band of pirates tried to ambush me and mine on the trail once.
Wait, you're talking about a person?
Yeah, poor guy. I think my bullets did his face a favor.
I thought that story was going somewhere. I was waiting for that to go somewhere. Alright, let's see. She's got a big old axe and a big fire machine gun that has very high DPS. Okay, feels to me like we could just let her continue to use those things. Plus 10 lie, don't really need it. Lower radius of footstep sounds, plus 20% damage to creatures, but only for Nyoko, not for the whole party. Honestly, I don't know that we need her uniques all that badly. Am I at, I'm at 90 lie. I might just go ahead and cap this out. So we probably don't need to take the bonus to lie from her. Let's, just increase her health, I guess, and then ranged damage, and then the cooldown reset thing. I think those all seem fine. And before we go here, let's just have a look at her stuff here. Uses her personally modified LMG to deal damage to her target, set enemies near it ablaze, and reduce their armor rating for 15 seconds. And lie, sneak, medical. Okay. Please prefer your ranged weapon. Always prefer your ranged weapon. Alright, I get a perk. Every time I kill something, reduce ability cooldowns. I do love reduced ability cooldowns. That said, I wonder if we maybe have enough of that kind of stuff now? Lower consumable weight. I do like extra bonus to our damage multipliers, since we're hitting for very large base values. The weak spot multiplier matters a lot to us. Or we could get more carrying capacity, and so that I don't have to interact with my inventory quite as often. That's definitely compelling. I think I'm going to take this. So while using tactical time dilation, extra weak spot damage. Remember to actually use the time dilation. And then, yeah, I'm just going to take us to 100 lies, so we have the bonus. We are as good a liar as anyone has ever been. Also, before we go anywhere, obviously one more thing we gotta do. And she has 19 armor already. Actually, that's pretty good. Nope, never mind. You get this. Or do I want her to have... No, I probably just want her to have flat armor, right? It's like I don't care about the radius of our footstep sounds or anything. We're not really very stealthy. So we are losing our big AoE stomp, which might matter, right? That might be a real bummer. I might be real sad I did that. Oh, we should also go to the... Where was that workbench? Because I need to fiddle with stuff. Jeez, let's see. I came in here, and then we went that way, and it's over here. I did not remember.
Between you and me, we know all there is to know about Monarch.
What makes you say that?
Well, you got your life experience as a hunter, and I've memorized every episode of Terror on Monarch.
Oh, Terror on Monarch's a riot. It's all made up, though. You know that, right?
Yeah, right. Next, you're gonna tell me Halsey and Helen weren't based on a real person.
I won't tell you that, no. You seem happier in your ignorance.
Look at that. She's got Felix all figured out already. Managed to compress his entire personality down to one phrase. First of all, repair all the stuff. Oh no, not 40 weapon parts. Whatever shall we do? And then, do we want to fiddle with our gear anymore? We could fiddle with their gear, I suppose. So let's see, a magazine upgrade. I mean, I guess they do have to reload. We know they have to reload because there's a skill that affects their reload time. But, yeah, whatever. We do such a huge percentage of our damage via, okay, I did look at this. We do such a huge percentage of our damage with the skills that maybe their reload times are irrelevant. And then the information broker is outside. There was some other stuff that we wanted to do that required talking to people in here, right? There was that dead guy. Okay, you found a family living in the ruins south of Stellar Bay. Oh, right. The guy we found strapped to the bed upstairs. We gotta talk to somebody about him. Velma Ballard. I do not know Velma Ballard. She is maybe in this building, or maybe on the other side of this building. What are we looking at here?
Could I get another advance, Mr. Nandi?
Just make sure it's properly logged.
I'll note it next to the others, sir.
These people are really standing in such a way as to directly invite me into their conversation. Hey, your name is one I recognize. You must be important.
Well, new business turns up at last. Celia, didn't I tell you our new statistics-based advertising model would be a hit?
That you did, sir.
How can yield improvements of 26.7% not quicken the pulse? How can 32% cost savings not moisten the loins?
Wow.
Often posed these very questions.
They don't really have HR in the future, so.
This newcomer has a meeting with me.
That's very generous of you. I lied.
Celia, will you make a note of that for my self-review? Very generous.
Noted.
But not so generous I can't drive a good bargain. Now, who sent you? Rizzo's, perhaps? Or Auntie Cleo herself?
No, actually, I'm a dude who literally just wandered in. I guess that bottom option is basically what that is. I'm just charting my own path, going where the wind takes me.
What a charming notion. One doesn't meet many free spirits in Halcyon. Not outside Tartarus prison, anyway. Forgive me, I'd be positively enraptured. Only, I take it this means you aren't here for Saltuna.
Well, I think that's probably true of absolutely everybody. If I have to eat one more weird science project passed off as food in this sprat-fucked colony, I am going to stab someone.
Yes, that's it. Channel your anger. I only wish I could do the same. I had hoped that livening up our advertisements with enticing figures would draw the other corporations back to our bosom, but it seems we're back to the drawing board.
Sorry, what exactly are you hoping to accomplish?
Thanks to the so-called hazard clause, Monarch has been cut off from the board's resources and protection for 10 years now.
So-called is right. We've got our hazards, but we're still here, damn it. The board took off without so much as a thought for the folks left behind.
That's the board's way. Doesn't matter if you're Monarch or the Groundbreaker. If the board can't control you, they'll find a way to punish you.
Now, we've kept ourselves in business by trading with individual corporations, but given the off-the-books nature of those transactions, such arrangements are precarious.
I have a little bit of trouble with the interaction that just occurred. There's such a... I want to phrase this carefully. Apologies if I state this a little bit slowly. I want to phrase this carefully, because what I don't mean to say is that all writing should always be subtle. I emphatically do not believe that. And I don't really have a problem with the way that everything we read and every person that we talk to in this game is like driving home that same, hey, the corporations are turbo fucking us, with the same satirical tone. Like, I get it, that's the big tone of the work. But the interaction where, like, Sanjar says a thing, and then Felix and Nyoka both say a sort of only tangentially related thing that's just like, and did you know the corporations are bad? The problem with it isn't the lack of subtlety, although boy oh boy, does it lack subtlety. The problem with it is, I don't know, there's a lack of grace to the handling of it. There's a clumsiness to the way that it is sometimes driven home. Sometimes it really works. Sometimes we read a message in a terminal, and it's just like, you know, talking about how your pay will be docked for you getting sick or whatever, that like totally makes sense and works and is funny. But sometimes it really, really doesn't work, and there's too many of those things. There's too many of that latter group of things. And both of the lines we just heard from our companions there fall into that. Alright. Okay, so you're tired of scrounging and scraping by, is that it?
Yes, Freedom is a tempting ideal, but a rather costly paramour.
Can't imagine why you'd sneer at the notion of a free colony. Could it be because you're an agent of the establishment?
Monarch's a free planet, Felix. It's also fucked. I ain't a fan of the folks on the board, but if they could be wrangled to rebuild our roads, I'd welcome the help.
Your friend makes a good point, young man. I used to be young and idealistic too, but you can't run a city on high-minded ideals.
See, that interaction right there was so much better, because Felix's line felt like a thing that came from Felix's character, even though it wasn't functionally, like in meaning, very different from the thing that he said right before that. I don't know, I'm having a hard time, obviously, getting quite to the core of what I mean, and as such vocalizing the core of what I mean, but hopefully that interaction made it a little clearer. Okay, he can't run a city on high-minded ideals, so what do you mean to do about it?
Well, Mr. Nandi here has a rather ingenious plan to get MSI restored to the board.
On our terms, mind you.
Are you out of your mind? You can't just go crawling back to your old masters.
Well, we can't continue to subsist like this either.
And if our advertising scheme hasn't borne fruit, then perhaps it's time we took matters into our own hands.
Yeah, I'm real good at that. What's the plan?
It's a two-pronged approach. The first part involves seeing Stellar Bay properly defended.
Fine, but how do you mean to do that?
With a Bolt 52 cartridge, of course. If you can get us what we need to rejoin the board, starting the Bolt 52, we'll be able to become one of the most productive and secure cities in Halcyon.
And you'll have a powerful ally on the board.
That would be useful. What I think I would really like to do is try to get them powerful enough to stand on their own and not have them rejoin the board, because it's not beneficial for us or for, in general, the people of Halcyon for the board to be as powerful and monolithic as it is, right? We want to break this thing up as much as possible, not add to its size. But I guess we'll see if that's even an option. Hey, this Bolt 52 sure sounds useful. What is it?
Why, one of the strongest defenses in Halcyon. An extremely powerful ordnance.
I was starting to get bored listening to you until you said the phrase extremely powerful ordnance.
It is quite the rush.
And where do I find one?
In the old arms building southwest of town, which used to be part of Stellar Bay before we had to move our walls in. These days it's overrun with marauders and raptidons.
Boy, that's a grim set of circumstances. All the bad stuff is inside the walls, so we gotta move the walls in. Alright, I'll see what I can find.
So taciturn, so dour. I'll be waiting with bated breath. Oh, and while you're at it, there should be a terminal in the arms building with some dangerous information. Perhaps you could delete it so it doesn't fall into the wrong hands.
After reading it so that I can sell it. Sure, bye. Okay, go to the arms building, get the stuff. I mean, listen, if there's no way for us to get Monarch able to stand on their own, then probably he's right helping them rejoin the board so that the guy who's in charge of Monarch feels like he owes us a favor is a fine plan B. But it is plan B. Let's see about having a plan A.
If you leave town, watch out for iconoclasts. They're almost as bad as the rats.
Your report looks excellent. The numbers are front and center, and you highlight our recent production gains nicely. One small adjustment. Could you increase the page margins by, 17.3%-ish? I want them to match the formatting of our other reports for maximum readability. Yeah, so what we're getting about Sanjar is that he's a real detail-oriented dude, and he loves numbers that have percentages in them. Or numbers that have decimal points in them. Otto, I've been checking your hours, and you're well past due for some time off. Why don't you take a few days? You spend entirely too much time staring at that terminal. And maybe he actually cares about his employees, maybe? Maybe. We'll see. Alright, what have we here? Only to be used for official communication on behalf of Monarch Stellar Industries. Personal files for S. Nandi. A summary report on conditions within Stellar Bay. Productivity has continued to improve since relaxing MSI's old restrictions and making allowances for employee benefits such as time off for illness and personal leave, 24.9% reductions in shift length, and 52.3% more positive feedback. Fishery output is up 15.2% this year, showing a continuing but slowing growth trend. Decreased gains compared to previous years are likely due to the deterioration of materials and morale, occasional shortfalls in supplies, and the gradual loss of personnel to marauders, 7.2%, hostile wildlife, 10.3%, and iconoclast recruitment, 17.4%. Those are some very large percentages, actually, for personnel loss. Reconciliation with the board remains a long-term goal, but the immediate concern is defending the city from hostile elements. Repairing damage to the city walls consumes approximately 32.8% of the annual budget. The best solution would be an influx of skilled defenders and weaponry, but given the aforementioned factors and their effects on the local population, such a solution remains unlikely. Working slogans. MSI, our profit margins are stellar. Hey, I get it. MSI Saltuna, 43.28% more nutrient-dense than the leading brands. Stellar Bay, a tolerable center of commerce in a hostile and chaotic galaxy. Well, you know what I like about these is that they're basically true. You know, he's not comically overselling it. It sounds like this is not such a bad place to work, honestly, especially relative to the other stuff that we have seen. Is there anything over here that's worth stealing? Cosmic smoke. You know what? I don't want these cigarettes that badly. You have anything cool in you? Reduces noise. Makes a gun shock is kind of interesting. We don't have a lot of these. I'm going to go ahead and buy that. And where does this go? Is this just out the other side of the building? Yes, it is.
Smells like rat in here.
Oh, they changed my objective. Right. I feel like if you've manually set a quest objective, it should probably just remain set. It shouldn't change automatically when you pick up a new thing.
Hey, Val,
Okay.
I got your caffeinoid pills.
You're a lifesaver. Hope Abigail didn't give you a hard time.
Just the usual. Any word on Braxton?
Nothing. Don't know how much longer I can cover for him either. Give me those pills, will you?
Here you go. You know, you might consider a real night's sleep instead.
Well, it sounds like she can't get a real night's sleep because she's covering for Braxton, which is, a thing I have some bad news about.
Look, you can tell Catherine the new shipment will be ready when it's ready, all right? She's welcome to come up here and pack boxes herself if she's in such a hurry.
Hey, Catherine said she'd shove you in a box if you keep running your yap like that. This is a lie that doesn't benefit me at all. It's just like lying to somebody for the sake of lying to them because I think it's fun. First, sorry, what are you talking about, Catherine?
Sorry. Seems I got my cables crossed. Thought you were another shakedown tough from Fallbrook. Hope you can forgive my temper. This job has been running me ragged lately. First, my autoloader foreman stages a walkout, and now my chief pescatological health manager is missing.
Your chief what now?
Braxton. He's in charge of getting the fish fat, but also making sure they don't get too many tumors. He's a real wizard with pharmaceuticals, but he has creative notions of working hours. Comes with living in a free colony, I guess.
Yeah, I got some bad news there about Braxton.
That he's got his load on and I'm stuck covering his shift?
That's a wild phrase. No, actually that he was killed by cannibals out in the ruins. Considerably worse than that.
That's... Wow. I sure feel like an ass now.
Well, yeah, you definitely sounded like one. Cheer up. Maybe now you can hire someone better? I mean, it doesn't sound like it. She did describe him as a wizard.
Oh, sure. Because Monarch's just teeming with experts in the finer points of Saltuna health. Still, it's good to know what happened to him. And that I ought to start looking for a replacement. Something else on your mind?
What about the foreman?
Caleb Herrick. Runs the autoloader operators. He thinks I don't pay them enough for flipping switches and turning dials. He and his whole crew walked out. Say they won't come back unless I pay them more.
So why don't you pay them more?
Because we've got a budget, all right? And in case you haven't noticed, MSI doesn't exactly have a lot of spare bits on hand.
That's definitely not true. I am finding spare bits all over the ground constantly. Well, I suppose I could talk to Caleb for you.
You mind slapping him around a little while you're at it? I'm joking. Mostly. Unless you can do it without hurting his job performance. If you can find a way to get him back to work, I'll make it worth your while. Check the yacht club. He's usually there.
So who's this Catherine that you mentioned when I first came in?
Sublight boss out of Fallbrook. Handles most goods that come in or out of Stellar Bay. Has a mouth like a ground six spacer.
Okay, I kind of thought that was maybe going to lead somewhere, but fine, I'll talk to you later. Well, I'm certainly not going to attack a dude for wanting fair pay for his work. You're not really looking at me. I'm going to take all this stuff now. Theft. Free ammo. Not that we need it. I did not realize that there was a guy right there. That's fine. He's busy. Too busy to stop me from stealing everything. Alright, am I allowed to use your workbench? I mean, never mind. I just realized what would I use it for? What would I even do with it? This looks like this sort of place that there'd be stuff tucked away. Oh. Interesting. Well, apparently we can go underground. Sublight Contractor. Most of the text on this note is obscured by blood, but you can make out the words Lilia and passcode Antediluvian. Oh, that's interesting. Also, for some reason, a box with 5 bits in it. We keep finding stuff like that. It doesn't really make a ton of sense in universe, because it's like finding a random box on the ground, and when you open it up, there's a nickel in there. Like, why? Why would that be the case? Who would be responsible for that? A broken tossball stick covered in blood has a decayed purple tooth embedded in it. Elijah is written along the shaft. Boy, how fucked up does a tooth have to be purple? I mean, obviously we'll take it. And a plasma thing. I don't need this. Let's break this down. Just disassemble this weapon into its component parts while my hands are still in this container I'm not allowed to touch. Okay, well this is not really where we're supposed to be going. But it is a curious hatch in the ground, and I just can't bring myself to not play with it. So is Stellar Bay built on top of the ruins of an older... Sorry, what?
Hey, got a favor to ask you. Figure while we're out here in the wilderness anyhow, we might stop in on an old friend of mine. Preferably before we get to Hiram's. It's on the way, don't worry. You don't seem the type to run off and get yourself killed, and I could use the help.
Just get on with it. Ask me what you're gonna ask me.
Hey, it ain't easy for me to spill my guts like a cut-up rat, alright? I'll be upfront with you. I hate asking for help. I hate it. Every time I give someone the opportunity to disappoint me, they seem to make it their most immediate goal. But this, what I'm thinking, it's dangerous.
What kind of danger are we talking about here?
Nothing we can't handle.
All right, let's hear it.
I used to run with a band of hunters. Friends. 6 of us. We were on Monarch when the corporations pulled out, and we helped a lot of people pick up the pieces. I haven't seen 2 of them in years, and the rest I know to be dead. I'd like to gather their effects and bury them all in the same places, with the family we once were.
Okay, what do you need to do?
First, we go to Hayes. I buried him a ways from our encampment. I need to pay my respects. I'll show you where he rests. He had a medallion in his effects. That's what I'll bring home to Barry.
And after that?
Then we find my 2 lost trackers and bring them home. A long time ago, we built an encampment in one of Monarch's cave systems. Trouble is, a Mantiqueen showed up and kicked us all out. If we can find Rebecca and Anders, they'll know how to lure her out. Then we kill the bitch and bury everyone's medallions together.
That does actually sound dangerous. We're gonna have to kill a mantiqueen?
Oh yes. I can't wait.
I wonder if Felix is maybe not the most appropriate party member for this. Well, this is not exactly what I was expecting to get out of walking out of that hatch. We didn't talk to Caleb yet, but I mean, we're going to be back in Monarch again later. I suppose it can wait. So the broker is 700 meters in this direction, like way down there. I mean, we may as well fast travel the bit that we already walked, but it looks like we're going to be out in the wilderness for a while. That's alright. We'll, something tells me we're going to survive it. Maybe it's all of my ability to force my companions to do all of the fighting. Maybe it's my nigh unto infinite supply of medical stuff. But I reckon we'll be alright. We are going to have to do things a little bit differently here. Because we don't have the AoE knockdown anymore.
You want some of this?
Oh, we still have that. That's still funny. The heavy drinking part of her animation doesn't really land with a full helmet on.
I was just getting started.
I got him. See, I contributed. That is a 960 DPS gun. That is definitely way better than the machine gun we have on now. And it uses light ammo, which is totally fine. We have 1 million light ammo. Yeah, that'll do. That seems just fine. Where's that guy that I brained real bad? Is he... I did not loot him yet. We snuck around this thing. Yo, actually, where is that corpse? I mean, I guess it's not the end of the world if we don't loot it. It's not like he's going to have anything terribly valuable. Just another one of those same rifles that we keep not looting, right? Alright, let us continue down the road. And continue to run into random groups of marauders every 20 feet. Also wildlife. So, I mean, it's probably the case that we could just follow the road here. Right, it'll loop back around. And there are people down the road to murder. But I'd be lying if I said I wasn't real curious about where this leads to. Alright, who's ready? We got this. Oh, that guy is looking right in this direction. Maybe we don't so much with the got this. This would be a really good moment to have Sam. I just drop him right on top of all the dudes at the fire. I'm just going to take the sniper, and then we're going to go. Not much of a lookout. Given that there are so many full helmets in the game, it feels like maybe they should have given her an alternate animation for when she has a full helmet on. Because it's not like a thing that's going to be super rare.
Everyone all right?
Okay. I do feel like I'm going to spend a lot of time in battle just running. Stupid melee weapons. Okay. Oops, I picked up that flamethrower. Well... it doesn't look like there's any loot up here. Yeah, it seems like there's going to be a lot of...
down this slope. We've got a decent trek ahead of us.
Oh, I guess I am pointing us toward the broker rather than toward the place where she said we should go. Yeah, let's head ourselves toward Hayes' grave instead. Okay, it is largely in that direction. So that's a mantiqueen. I guess we'd better get some experience in fighting them. Felix is still not at full health, which is not ideal. Do you maybe heal faster? Alright. Perhaps inadvisably, I'm going in for the sneak attack. Never mind. Alright, Then let's strip her armor. And there's some chance this is going to reset Felix's ability to CC her. It didn't work. I didn't even hit her. There we go. You just gotta step a little closer. You don't seem all that dangerous, honestly. They don't travel alone, though. I suppose that's a concern. Wow. You really let that thing have it.
I'm the best there ever was!
I think part of the problem with Felix's attack is that it feels really insubstantial, because a lot of the time he performs the dropkick and the enemy is completely visually unfazed. Even if they do go into sort of a stun state, the fact that they generally don't even fall down makes it feel kind of dumb. But boy, when it actually works, it seems like a thing.
New. Way the edges are burnt. I guess people did this, not the wild.
I think we definitely want to be on the other side of this. So we could go around the path, I suppose. I want to talk to that guy. I want to see what's up with Mr. Weston Sloan. We don't need another pulse hammer. But yeah, okay, I can see why people in general, not us, obviously, we're incredible, why people in general might be afraid of a Manta Queen. That was... ooh. It's a little bit more of a fall than I was prepared for. That is where we want to end up, though. I guess we could just, like, walk down, like civilized people. You know, the fall damage in the game is just... it's a touch too real for me to feel comfortable jumping down into an acid pit like that. In a way, the acid would probably break your fall, but in another way, it's acid. It's a big pool of bubbling acid. And we know that it hurts because I've heard Felix's screams. Alright, are we going to be able to get over to this guy? Probably. Nope, I'm using this. You can't see me. Look how stealthy we are.
Yes, acid incoming! Go up, Felix!
Felix kicked that guy so hard his bones disappeared. Stop running sideways. Turns out to be the ultimate tactic against me. I can't turn fast enough. Part of the problem is that I'm very used to like circle strafing, so I was already running sideways as well, and that complicates things slightly. If only the power attack were a big horizontal sweep instead of an overhead. Wouldn't have to worry about any of this. Although the overhead does basically give you free crits just for connecting, which is nice. Or free weak spot damage, rather. Well, so this is the crossroads just outside of Fallbrook. That is Fallbrook in there. We did tell that lady we'd go looking for her kid, and we thought he might have gone to Fallbrook, right? Yeah, but I'm real curious about this Weston dude. Let's talk to him first. Should be a very short detour from our path.
Heads up, jackass!
Oh, it didn't have quite the same effect that time. I am definitely going to have Felix CC the Manta Queen as much as possible. Boy, you really got to be close to him to hit him. Ow! Oh, geez, I didn't even realize I was taking damage from a guy who was behind me, who was hitting me without making any noise at all. Part of the problem with the fire thing is that it's real easy to accidentally catch on fire, and if you catch on fire, it puts fire all around the edges of the screen in a way that prevents you from seeing the red lights at the edge of your screen damage effect that all video games use now. Alright, let's try taking down some of these manta pillars before we start engaging Felix's CC abilities. Basically, I would really like it if I could just commit him to keeping the Manta Queen and the soldiers busy. Okay, so I was close enough for him to be able to hit me with his melee attack, but not close enough for me to hit with my big, ridiculous weapon. Okay, that's the leg of a thing. I'm not actually in any danger from that. It's actually really hard to hit a Mantis Swarm with a tossball stick, is what I've learned. Alright, Felix, get up, you big baby. Everything's fine. After having been swarmed by insects too many times, you're no longer your best when being attacked by them. I don't know, man. Perk points are fine. I don't want to take a big stat debuff when fighting a whole class of enemies, though, probably. Not these ones, anyway. Okay, nothing to loot from you. It is a little weird that when an enemy gets broken into multiple pieces, the loot is only on one of the pieces. Like, I get... It makes a certain kind of sense, but it's strange that in a lot of cases it's like a marauder's arm is the piece that holds all of his stuff, including his armor. You should probably just be able to get the full list of loot from all of the pieces.
Hello there. A word, if I may be so bold? Well, now, wait a minute. I still hear those soars crying across the way. How is it you're here and they're still alive?
They're not very attentive. Sorry, soars? What?
Mantisaurs. They're all over these parts. I thought I was fleeing to safety, but here I am, and here the bridge ain't. I don't suppose you'd mind stopping a minute and helping me out? Those beasts don't seem to want to leave. I'm of the mind they need forceful convincing.
Murder, sure. Yeah, alright. I love murder. No, wait. Let's first extract value, then commit murder. The true bureaucratic way.
Ah, well, if I'm able to make it back to Amber Heights to resupply, I could sell you a thing or two at a discount. You find yourself wandering the wilderness, low on ammunition and the like? Well, might be you'd find that useful.
Oh yeah, you know how limited ammunition is in this game. Yeah, fine, I was gonna kill him anyway, may as well get something out of it. Hey, you! Okay, that worked. I don't like the way the Moon Man head is ruining her animations, but I do really like how her animations play out with the Moon Man head. Oh wait, I'm supposed to be doing this. There we go. Yeah, that'll show him.
Can we do that again?
The first time he's survived one of those, and he's so excited about it. Okay, how's that? Good enough?
Ah, blessed silence at last. I appreciate the assistance. Name's Weston. Every once in a while, I set up shop along these here roads. You find yourself in need of resupply, you come on by. Care to purchase a thing or two?
Maybe. I gotta say, like, the idea of discounts on things, including ammo, is not super compelling, because the game is still very easy. A Quiet Muzzle, Silver Tongue Kit. I mean, we already have some Silver Tongue kits, I believe. So I'm not going to bother with those. I do think that's, of the skill kits that we've seen, that's one of the better ones. Ooh, I think Felix only has a grenade launcher 1, right? Buy that for him. That's 38 armor. We could probably make some use of that. And then we have armor that's as good as or better than this stuff. I don't think we need to buy meat. I think we're solid here. So yeah, hey Felix. Yes, he is in fact using a 238 DPS grenade launcher. There we go. That should be an improvement. I do really like having a grenade launcher and a massive fire-shooting minigun at my back. There's something about that that's real comforting, but at the same time, it does scare me a little bit, what with me wanting to get in melee range of the enemies all the time and everything. I'm wondering if I want to put on this new armor? Because my current armor is pretty well teched out for helping us with stuff. Maybe we just want to give this to Felix, since I end up putting him in melee range of enemies a lot anyway. Yeah, I feel okay about that. It's an interesting look. Got a little sort of a cape, kind of, but it's on the wrong side, or half of a jacket. I'm not sure whether a misaligned cape or a half of a jacket is more embarrassing to wear. Alright, well, we should probably go into Fallbrook and check it out on our way to where we're going. But unfortunately, I just looked at the clock and I might have to call it here for this one. It's a tiny bit, a hair shorter than they usually are, but I do have a thing that needs doing. So that's going to be it for us for today. Thank you all so much for watching. You know, listen, we don't necessarily have to worry about the quality of the writing on Fallbrook if we just spend all our time fighting giant mantis dinosaurs in the forest. So come back next time for more of that stuff. And we'll see you then.